At ease.
The official march past by the Guard of Honor, where the Premier will acknowledge the salute.
Right. Attention. Guard of Honor. Shoulder arms. Guard of Honor. Close order march. Right. Will march past by platoons. Move to the right in columns of platoons. Right hand. Right, left, quick, march. Number two. Come to number two. Number three. Guard of Honor! Hands right! Guard of Honor! Hands right!
The Premier will now descend the podium, followed by his entourage. Ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of our program. I hope you will enjoy the proceedings of the evening. I thank you.
I never meant to cause you any sorrow, and I never meant to cause you any pain. No, no. I only want one time to see you laughing. I only wanna see you laughing in the purple. Purple rain, purple rain, purple rain, purple rain, purple rain, purple rain. I only wanna see laughing in the purple. I never wanted to be your weekend lover. No, 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 weekend. No. I just wanted to be some kind of friend. Yeah, yeah. Baby, you know I can never steal you from another. It's such a shame our friendship had to end. Purple rain, purple rain, purple rain, purple rain, purple rain, purple rain. I only wanna see you laughing in the. Honey, I know times are changing. No, yeah. It's time to reach down to something new, and it needs you too, yeah. You say you want a leader, but you can't seem to make up your mind. I think you better close it and let me guide you to that purple rain, yeah. That purple rain. Yeah, I go back and I do, Lord. purple rain, purple rain, purple rain, purple rain, purple rain, purple rain. I only wanna see you laughing in the purple rain. Tina Siswe, Tina Siswe, Esi Nyama Sikalela Sikalela Is Ela Tata Tata Kaba Tina Siswe Sikalela 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 Ela Tata Mama Yeke Ma Mama Yeke Mama Yeke Mama Yeke Tina Siswe Tina Siswe Yes Sikalela Sikalela Ela Tata Ela Tata Mama Yeke Mama Yeke Mama Yeke
fine. Hello. The Speaker and the Premier. Wena Panyaza Lesufi. Kimuramaga omogolo wa maboshigo bja thaba. Ba re go gageshu muramageng a re ke romana mongwe wa bopa. Motho alala a gadile dikošo tša basadi. Ke ba Lesufi la mankgakgatha la makata go sena pula. Ba re le reng Lesufi le kata go sena pula. Ba re ke dithamaga tša mebe ga mmarepo. Ke bana ba kgoši ba Lesufi le tiwa mokgobo. Ke bana ba kgoši ba tšhomana ditlaboka ba re go tšeana nkgopo dithamaga.
Imina ngedwa inkunzi ekwazi ukubona impondo zenkunzi enelunda. Panyaza Lesufi wena uyinkunzi enelunda. Sithi namuhla sizobonga sisigona maphethelo sishamthetho saseGauteng sinithula nalo uphaphele gwalagwala kusuka phezulu komdala sehlele ngezantsi. Panyaza Lesufi wena usola amagama izibongo ngabe sikhasha ngaphandle nangaphakathi sikhalalisele ngokuba wena ukhukulula igolo waligeza lahlambuluka wakwazi ukulwa nazo zonke izimo walwa negebengu walwa necorruption waletha i-corporation emgwaqweni ema-ofisini ko-MEC waletha uhlelo le-lifestyle audit isela solomgodi wokuqasha. Panyaza Lesufi.
Weni ba uba Panyaza Lesufi. Umutu wa bontšheletšeng ka moruku basadi ba ga Lesufi la thaba. Ba re ge lešotla ke be ke sa le bone. Ke be ke ithobaletše ihlola ka e le tšaruka e le sena ka ngwedi sa magasa a bophokwana ditšhaba. Sa bolebati mogatša potlake wa mosadi wa makaleng wa letswalela tsela. O tswaletše tša mameropana mebedi tša šitiša dikomana golla. O motho wa bomothupi wa namane wa ga mathetele ba re go mothupi o thupile namane matebeleng mme a šia tswetše ba re tswetše etla e tla le motšhe e tla le gale ngwana marekwa e tla le phaso a masogana phasa mmala ka dimpeng.
Wena-ke uyinkunzi abayidonsele phansi entabeni inyuka yashona phansi. Wena uyinkunzi abayidonsele phansi enyuka. Wena uzalwa lilanga ukhanya noma sekufanele ucishe. wathi siyatransforma izipulumeni zakho siyakwazi ukubona lokho selokho liphatha igoli ugesi akwazi wacima egoli igoli uphendula umzibo omkhulu ongashi ngokuba noma ngafika ziphi izomisa amanzi egoli asawasweli Panyaza Lesufi wena uyinkunzi ekwazi ukukhuphuka phezulu esitabeni imina ngedwa kwazi ukubona inkunzi enezipondo phezulu ngelunda
Weni bawubasithakalumele Lesufi weni umushana yatswa kulibulila manghapalasha lashpi ya mangaketsi ubwasoko libensama miriti mibedi miraro mingwa maloba ubwabuliwele khara letsako na ga bosetebane kuana ga bosetebate ba matlalo galoga ya sarala budi ba ya la hlamo ga khakala kuana ga shubudisha ngwetse shuriri khanyela uye moroka tina gobane ga go lehla sa go shirela ka sulu weni bauba phasha modibedi weni umushana
wena-ke uyilanga lomlilo elizokhelayo uvusa amakhaya abesefile wena isibusiso usithole ezalukwazini nasakho emakhetheni angazazi wavala ama-itholo wavula amathuba emisebenzi nanamhlanje nathi simlapha ngoba siyasebenza bayabuza ukuthi siphi isipani siphi isipani
May we please remain standing for a moment of silent prayer or meditation. Thank you very much. You may be seated. Good evening, Honorable Premier, members of the Executive Council, members of the Provincial Legislature, the Chief Whip, leaders of political parties, ladies and gentlemen, baagi ba Gauteng, le baeng ba rona bo botlhe, dumelang, you are all welcome. I, Honorable Murakani Musubye, hereby declares the Nasrec as the precinct of the Gauteng Provincial Legislature in terms of Rule 5.6 of the Standing Rules of the Gauteng Provincial Legislature, read with Section 2, Subsection 1 and Section 28 of the Powers, Privileges and Immunities of Parliament and Provincial Legislatures Act 4 of 2004. I just want to explain quickly what I mean by the precinct. So it is the area of land and every building or part of a building under Parliament's control, including the chambers in which the proceedings of the House are conducted and the galleries and lobbies of the chambers. Every part of the buildings in which the chambers are situated and every forecourt, every yard, garden, enclosure, or open space next to the precinct. Committee rooms are also declared. Every other building or part of a building provided or used in connection with the proceedings of Parliament while so used. So for the duration of this meeting, this place will be the precinct of the Gauteng Legislature. Now, I want to explain to everyone in the hall what the purpose of this sitting is. So this is a special sitting convened in terms of Rule 15 of the Standing Rules, which reads as follows. At the first sitting of the legislature every year, The Premier must deliver an address on the state of the province. Furthermore, in terms of Rule 15, subsection 2, which reads as follows, this is a special sitting solely designated to receive the state of the province address delivered by the Premier. Rule 18, subsection 3 reads as follows, the only business that may be conducted as the special sitting will be the business for which it has been designated. I am now going to request that we stand up for the national anthem and the AU anthem. Choir, if you're ready, you may lead together with the orchestra. You may be seated. Oh, the AU anthem, sorry.
David
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the Duduza Serenades, South African Police Services, and Gauteng Provincial Orchestra Ensemble. They are the ones who just gave us the two anthems. I think, yes, they do deserve a round of applause. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to acknowledge our guests. And because of the number of the people that we have invited, and I must say all of them honored the invite, I am going to beg your indulgence that I not call them out by name, all of them, but I will recognize different categories. I will start with the Premier of Gauteng, Honorable Panyaza Lesufi, my fellow presiding officers and members of the legislature, members of the NCOP, Deputy Minister for Employment and Labor, Honorable Judith 𝐬𝐮𝐬𝐻𝐫𝐞, the Speaker of the 𝐾ZN Legislature, Honorable Boyce, Northwest Speaker, Honorable Dr. Mohono, Acting Judge President, His Lordship Aubrey Litwaba, the Electoral Commission, Commissioner Mosotho Moepa, Public Protector of South Africa, Public Service Commission, Financial and Fiscal Commission, Chairman of the Council for Traditional Leaders, 𝐘𝐨𝐧'𝐭 Milton 𝐬𝐻𝐫𝐞𝐭, the Kingdom, or rather His Royal Highness Prince Matlangu of 𝐻𝐴Mandebele Kanzunza, 𝐴Mandebele Balibilo Traditional Council, Khoisan leader led by Chief Keith Duarte, His Royal Highness Prince Mandla Zulu of the Zulu Royal Kingdom, traditional houses, councils, authorities hereby represented, Executive Mayors of Tshwane Metropolitan Municipality, Executive Mayor of Merafong, Executive Mayor of West Rand, Executive Mayor, or all Executive Mayors that are here with us, the Speaker of the City of Johannesburg, Alderman Margaret Arnolds, Deputy Executive Mayor of Tshwane, Councillor Modise, the Speaker of Lesedi Council, Speaker of Midvaal Local Municipality, Deputy Mayor of Mogale City Municipality, Deputy Mayor of Randwest City Local Municipality, former Chairperson of the NCOP, Mr. Amos Masondo, who's also former Mayor of the City of Johannesburg, the former Premier of Gauteng Province, Mayor Nomvula Mokonyane, who's also the DSG of the African National Congress, members of the Diplomatic Corps, Mayor Sophie de Bruyn, members of the Audit and Risk Committee of Members of the Audit and Risk Committee of the Gauteng Legislature under the leadership of Dr. Madiba, members of the Advisory Committee of the Gauteng Legislature led by Mr. Lutuli, leaders of various governance institutions, the business sector, and our sponsors, 𝐬𝐻𝐫𝐿, Coca-Cola, Johannesburg City Parks, Randwest, and Standard Bank, stalwarts in their various fraternities. I am also informed that Mayor 𝐬𝐵𝐽𝐿 is here with us. I hope she managed to make it. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure the Premier will also acknowledge other people that I may not have acknowledged. Now I'm going to suspend the proceedings for 3 minutes, 3 solid minutes to allow the media to take the photos. Okay, the 3 minutes is up. Honorable members and guests, I've just been informed that we have in our midst secretaries of different provincial legislatures who have joined us. I just wanted to acknowledge their presence as well. Okay, thank you very much. I now call on the Premier, Honorable P.A. Lesufi, to address the House. Premier.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. Amase, Madam Speaker, Honorable Murakani Musupse, the Deputy Speaker, Honorable Nomvuyo Mhlagaza Manamela, members of the Executive Council, the Chief Whip of the governing party, Honorable 𝐬𝐮𝐬𝐫𝐞𝐿, honorable members of the legislature, leaders of all political parties that are represented in our legislature, Minister of Electricity and Energy, Dr. 𝐘𝐿, the former Premier of our province and Deputy Secretary General of the Dynamic African National Congress, Ms. Nomvula Mokonyane, the co-convener of the ANC Gauteng Provincial Task Team, Mr. Amos Masondo, the leadership of 𝐬𝐻𝐾𝐭 present here, the leadership of BOZA, Dr. Musi Maimane, the Chief Whip of �RISE Mzansi, Ghana, leadership of various political parties that are in the government of provincial unity, all our executive mayors and council speakers, our guest of honor, Mama Sophie de Bruyn. All our traditional leaders present, all religious leaders present, Tona Kgolo ya Kgoro Lesufi, Ntate Notlo Tau Lesufi, Kgoshigadi Ramadimeja Mahlako Pasha, Wagankwana Traditional Authority, the acting Judge President of our province, Your Excellencies, members of the diplomatic corps, leaders of business community, the leadership of COSATU, and the leadership of our civic movement in our province. I want to acknowledge further the Gauteng Provincial Police Commissioner, Lieutenant General Tommy Mtombe, distinguished guests, members of the media, people of Gauteng. About 12 months ago, we stood before this august house to deliver the 2025 State of the Province Address. In that SOPA, we announced bold commitments in pursuit of our renewed electoral mandate to drive socio-economic transformation in our province. We are honored again to stand before this House on this occasion of the third State of the Province Address of the 7th Administration of Government of Provincial Unity to solely report back to these commitments. It indeed remains an honor for me to lead and be the face of this province of ours. But where I've erred or misrepresented our province, I sincerely and honestly apologize, as I always take my responsibilities seriously. It is the African proverb that teaches us that, and I quote, "The hands that make mistakes belong to those who work hard. End of quote. This evening, we are joined by an outstanding and powerful woman who led during the most difficult period in our struggles against apartheid. She's a worthy recipient of 𝐼𝐶𝐻𝐻𝐿𝐴𝐻𝐻𝐿𝐴𝐻𝐻𝐿𝐴𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻 and she has received a string of awards, both local and international. As we celebrate the 70th anniversary of the Women's March held in our province, we are honored to accord her a special welcome as a special guest of the government of our people here in Gauteng. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Mama Sophie de Bruyn, the lioness of our people and the last living leader of the march against apartheid. Thank you. Mama de Bruyn, we are your children, and you remain our mother. We love and cherish you. You remain Mbogoto for life. Thanks for honoring this invite to join us here. Ladies and gentlemen, this house convenes here at Nasrec, where the last sitting of the G20 Leaders Summit took place, and members unanimously adopted the Leaders' Declaration that paves the way for solidarity, equity, and sustainability. Our choice of this venue is nothing more than a token of appreciation to our President, to the residents of Gauteng, and the global organizers for entrusting our province with the hosting of this historic first ever global summit on the African continent. The success of this event was the result of intensive and coordinated work between the provincial government, national government, and all municipalities. During his delivery of the State of the Nation address, our Honorable President, His Excellency Cyril Ramaphosa, reaffirmed the three national priorities as contained in the medium-term development plan. These priorities are driving inclusive economic growth and job creation, reducing poverty and tackling high cost of living, and building a capable, ethical, and developmental state. These remain the priorities of the 7th administration of the Gauteng Government of Provincial Unity. Madam Speaker, on the 27th of January 2026, we were hit by an unexpected water shortage in our province. There was a huge explosion at the Rand water plant. After this explosion, fire hit our transmission machines, followed by a huge burst pipe. Immediately thereafter, our water supply was deeply affected across the province. We then went into an emergency mode. The areas affected by this explosion was rectified within 72 hours. The fire was extinguished and the burst pipe was repaired. However, the water levels across the province were badly affected. The President immediately sent a ministerial team to camp in our province, and our water emergency team went on an overdrive. This resulted in the Minister of Water and Sanitation, Honorable Minister Phemi Majodina, giving an extraordinary proclamation to allow Rand Water to immediately extract more water from the Vaal River integrated water system. The first suburban area to be hit hard was Midrand. Lately, we can now declare that water has been fully restored in the Midrand area and surrounding areas. Another area that was hit was Soweto. We've now made great progress. Except for Meadowlands Zone 3 and Zone 4, and areas receiving water from the 𝐿𝐴𝐴𝐵𝐴𝐴 Reservoir, Soweto has now been restored with water. Our engineers have assured us that areas that still have a problem of water, they are working across the clock to rectify this situation. In the West End, water in 𝐃𝐨𝐵𝐿𝐴 and the surrounding areas has been fully restored. Besides Bedford View, Tsakane, and parts of KwaThema, the Ekurhuleni water supply is now stable, including the water supply in Tshwane, Sedibeng, and the West End. There are areas where residents have a full supply, but they are affected by a pressure at night due to the nighttime throttling. Nighttime throttling reduces pressure to allow the system to recover. Areas that are affected by nighttime throttling are Kissington, Basel and Old Valley, Bruma, and Berea. Other areas that are still experiencing instability are those supplied through the Commando system and the Brixton Towers. However, the areas that remain stubborn and extremely difficult to resolve the water challenges are part of Westdene, Coronationville, Sophia Town, Melville, Emarentia, and some sections of 𝐿𝐴𝐴𝐵𝐴𝐴. To permanently resolve these issues, a 760 million massive infrastructure investment upgrade is currently underway in the city of Johannesburg over a phased approach. The first phase, it will be the construction of a new ground reservoir and a tower in Brixton, and will go live this Saturday to improve water supply in these areas. In response to this crisis, we build an emergency boosting pipe station, which will also go live next week, Tuesday, to ensure that these areas are covered with water immediately. The permanent solution will be realized in phase 2 once the construction of the 5-kilometer pipeline is concluded at the end of the year. Furthermore, the national government is assisting us in realizing the return of investment made so that the people of Hammanskraal, Bronkhorstspruit, Kokosi, Forgeville, KwaThema, and other areas can have their dignity restored and have access to water as well. But let me be clear, the challenge is not water availability, but the interruption caused by infrastructure failures, leaks, and high demand peaks. We are working as the 3 spheres of government to fix the water challenges in our province. And we urge those that have an interest of our people not to politicize this unfortunate situation, because when they had day 0 in their own province, we didn't politicize this matter. We are about to conclude the expansion of water infrastructure so that we can be ready to receive additional water from the Lesotho Highlands Water Project, thus cementing our water security permanently in our province. But to avoid the sporadic shortages of water, together with all the executive mayors and the national government, we prioritize the need for investment in water storage. Water storage facilities are the future, so that when we are hit by this kind of explosion, the water storage will continue to provide water in our province. For now, we are planning at least to have water storage that can carry us for almost 7 days. But in Midrand, we are building a new water storage facility to house 20 million liters of water. The private developers matched this investment with a donation of 10 million liters of water that will be available to be stored to the people of Midrand so that they don't lose water again in their lifetime. Similar investments are rising in Ekurhuleni, Tshwane, and the Western municipalities. We want to take this opportunity to thank all our municipalities, but in particular, the municipality of Ekurhuleni for being the best municipality to provide quality water at the acceptable level. Citizens of Gauteng, even though we are making good progress on this issue of water, the water challenges in our province need constant monitoring and support. We once more sincerely apologize to all our residents in all our province who still go through the inconveniences caused by this unfortunate situation. Be assured of our commitment to permanently resolve this challenge and allow water to flow in our province. Water is life, sanitation is dignity. We continue to appreciate the support given by our President, Honorable 𝐿 Ramaphosa, the Minister of Water and Sanitation, Phemi Majodina, and her deputy ministers. I want to take this opportunity to thank all the MECs that stood up during this difficult period and the executive mayors that attended meetings at awkward times, and our hardworking engineers, staff members who are still on the ground to ensure that we finally resolve this issue of water in our province. To all of you, we thank you. But a special thank you to the 3 developers in Midrand who, in the middle of a crisis, they didn't point fingers, who, in the middle of a crisis, they didn't despair. What they did, they approached government and said to government, we want to put our money where our mouth is by building an additional storage so that this problem is permanently resolved. To these 3 developers, Lidibo Solo. As the economic heartland of our country, Gauteng should never be allowed to stop beating, for the consequences will be too dire for all of us. Our approach is to economic growth. Our approach to economic growth is firmly grounded in the re-industrialization of Gauteng and the deliberate inclusion of townships and local enterprises in the mainstream economy. Madam Speaker, we are clear that to grow the economy of Gauteng, we must, 1, defeat crime. There is no one who will invest in an epicenter of crime or invest in a province with this high number of crime statistics. We need to defeat corruption so that those that want to acquire services to create jobs are not requested to pay Coca-Cola before they can get permission of licenses. We also need to defeat lawlessness because we can't have people building infrastructure in areas that they can't build infrastructure. 2, we need to defend our infrastructure. The level of vandalism to our infrastructure is really causing panic to investors. 3, we need to work together with local government and accelerate service delivery. 4, we need to bring the private sector to the center of economic revitalization. Towards the end of 2025, South Africa's labor market showed a modest improvement, with national employment rising by almost 250,000 due to growth in the infrastructure and service sectors. Our province outperformed the national trend, reaching a record 5.2 million employed and accounting for nearly 70% of national jobs gained over the past year, with growth strongest in the construction, finance, community, and social services. I want to take this opportunity to thank our economic team. In the last year, Gauteng has managed to attract a whopping 27 billion in foreign direct investment from a diverse of countries, including the United Kingdom, Switzerland, France, Australia, Cyprus, the US, and UAE, underscoring international confidence in this province of ours as South Africa's primary investment and industrial hub. In our last State of the Province address, we also committed to go out and hunt for new investment so that we can create sustainable jobs in our province. We are proud to report back to you, to declare that we did as promised. Here are the final investments that have been signed, sealed, and packaged, ready to create jobs for our people. You will recall, in our last Gauteng Investment Conference, we indicated that we attracted investment totaling 312 billion rands. Today, we are proud to announce that 73 billion is now moving from a commitment to implementation stage, thus creating 114,000 new jobs across multiple sectors of our province. Last year again, we secured the largest share of the Presidential Investment Conference, where Gauteng was given a commitment of 180 billion rands investment, and we're expecting no less when the President reconvened the Presidential Investment Summit next month in our province. But we are proud to the city of Johannesburg, which has managed to attract partners from Netherlands. These partners with the city of Joburg, we are going to open a new waste-to-energy project where all the waste across the province will no longer go to waste, but will be converted to electricity at the tune of 7 billion rands to create more jobs in this particular sector. Through the assistance of our dynamic minister, 𝐼𝐶𝐴, all major appliances, electrical appliances and equipment were bought from China, and this market was a market that is ranging around 3 trillion rand. But this market was only based in China, only coming to Gauteng as finished product. We are proud, with the assistance of Minister 𝐼𝐶𝐴, we are opening a new electrical and equipment plant in Isando, Captain Park, at the tune of 2.2 billion rands. This new SEZ will create 3,000 new jobs in Nigel and Captain Park immediately. To Minister 𝐼𝐶𝐴, we say, thank you, Mutlokwa. Mutlokwa ana Mutlokwana. Re a leboga. Last year when we stood here, we heard the sad news that Nissan International was leaving our shores. We immediately entered in discussions with Chery International car manufacturers to our shores to build their cars here, rather than bring them to our province as finished products. Out of these discussions, Chery International will take over the Nissan plant, and 700 jobs that were going to be affected have been protected, and new jobs will be created out of this transaction. We are proud to declare that Chery cars are the fastest growing cars in our province. and this will be in a position to create more opportunities for our people. Last year, we engaged 𝐸𝐻𝐻 Global to start increasing their construction of their new plant in Midvaal, City Bay. 𝐸𝐻𝐻 has started construction of a 1.9 billion investment that will also create more additional jobs in that part of our region. This is not about beer or malt. This is about farmers and job creation in our province. We are proud that our 7th investment comes from Microsoft. Microsoft, in discussions with the provincial government, has already invested 5.4 billion in a form of a data center expansion in the Midrand Centurion corridor, positioning Gauteng as Africa's digital gateway. We want to take this opportunity to thank Microsoft for this huge investment in our province. They would have chosen to go somewhere. They chose to come to the beautiful Gauteng of our province. In our last State of the Province address, we indicated the urgent need to bring a player into the steel sector. We are proud, from the discussions we presented in our last State of the Province address, we now finally brought a huge investor from China through the name Chongfeng Middle, who are now not intending, but are now operating a new, fresh from the block, steel plant in Springs at the tune of 2.5 billion rands, and they've already recruited 1,000 new job seekers in that area. This new steel factory has also brought the latest technology in the steel manufacturing to our shores. The 9th investment is the proposed direct reduced iron steel again. This plant is located in Lesedi local municipality. It represents a major industrial investment with the potential to create additional 1,000 permanent jobs opportunities once fully operational. The 10th investment, and this one excites us. We are now positioned to establish the Gauteng Dry Port, which is moving from a dream to a reality, representing a projected investment of approximately 50 billion rands. Once fully operational, it will create approximately 50 permanent jobs in our province. 50,000 permanent jobs, in our province. The 11th investment, you will recall, last year we delivered this State of the Province address at the Tshwane Automotive SEZ. We made a commitment that they will secure a new investment of 1.6 billion as part of phase 2 of this project. We are pleased to announce that all the investors have been secured and they are now ready to start construction of this 1.6 billion investment. And this project will create 4,000 construction jobs during phase 2, thus creating more additional jobs to people of Tshwane. The 12th area is a decision that has been taken by the minister last week. Minister Pakstau finally gazetted for comments the establishment of the VAL SEZ. The VAL SEZ is expected to contribute over 10 billion rands to the Gauteng economy and create a new city in the VAL and ensure that VAL becomes independent and participate in the economy of our province. The 13 investment excites me, ladies and gentlemen. When the president of our country spoke about Lanseria Smart City, many people thought it was just a pipe dream. We are proud that Lanseria Smart City has secured a 4 billion Cradle Film Studios investment. This Cradle Film Studios investment will become the largest film production facility on the continent of Africa. This project is expected to create 15,000 new jobs, including 10,000 in the film production in our province. We want to take this opportunity to thank the Cradle Film for deciding to invest this amount of money in our province. The 14 investment will come from the Tambo Springs SEZ. This SEZ is projected to deliver significant and long-term economic benefits to Gauteng, underpinned by an estimated 23.6 billion capital investment. During the construction phase, this project is expected to contribute and support about 50,000 jobs and enable over 1,000 new SMMEs to perform in this market. Our last investment, which is the 15th one, come from Mahia Kwikot, is investing approximately 2.4 billion in Benoni as part of the most significant industrial investment in that part of Ekurhuleni in our province. This investment will secure 700 existing jobs and further create additional opportunities. In terms of job creation in our province, we are proud at this government that this State of the Province address is carrying 250,000 new jobs that we are creating in the province of Gauteng alone. So the Gauteng Economic Growth and Development Plan remains our roadmap for economic development. We are pleased to announce the resumption of our action labs for 12 high-powered growth sectors, such as manufacturing, green economy, transport, and logistics. We'll formally launch the action labs on the 19th March 2026, which brings together government, the private sector, and critical stakeholders to convert sector plans into bankable projects, thus attracting direct investment and drive job creation in our high-growth industries. Madam Speaker, on the tourism front, Gauteng moved international arrivals from 2.6 million to 3.8 tourists coming to the province of Gauteng. This surge translated into a record-breaking 41 billion in international tourism revenue, far surpassing the target of 29 billion that we expected. So we'll continue to intensify the Visit Gauteng 𝐬𝐮𝐬𝐫𝐢𝐻𝐿𝐴 campaign, projecting to generate 23 billion in revenue from foreign and domestic sources, thus contributing directly to provincial economic growth and supporting jobs in hotels, restaurants, transport, entertainment, and associated sectors. In support of this sudden growth in the interest of our province, Gauteng set a target of opening 4 new air routes during this financial year. We are proud that we've concluded new air routes that has been secured and finalized. We'll now receive airlines coming from Fly Gabon, Qantas Airline, and United Airlines. These routes will provide access to 3 strategic markets, including Central Africa, North Africa, and Australasia. With a potential gas cliff due to so-called possible reduction in gas, Transnet has entered into serious discussion with the province of Gauteng. Transnet entered also into partnership to construct and operate South Africa's first natural gas. And this import terminal port at the port of Richards Bay will now transport gas for the first time from Richards Bay direct to Gauteng for the very first time. This will also ensure that we have sufficient gas for the industries that are using gas for their economic activities. We want to thank Transnet for wetting Gauteng, because a wet Gauteng ignites the economy of Gauteng. You build the economy of Gauteng, by extension, you thus build the economy of South Africa. Madam Speaker, to ease morning and afternoon traffic congestion in our roads, which affects the economy, the Gauteng Executive Council, that's our cabinet, has now finally adopted the Transport Master Plan, which will open the new roads in our province. The provincial government took a deliberate decision to assume the responsibility for the e-toll debt, to relieve residents of the financial burden, and also open our roads for better maintenance and expansion. To date, the province has now paid over 9 billion rands towards the e-toll debt of 20 billion rands. We are halfway in finalizing this debt, and we have now made it possible for SANRAL to go to the market and raise funds so that they can expand roads throughout South Africa. So our decision to take this debt has now created opportunities for the building of new roads and the maintenance of roads that could not be maintained. So the adoption of the Integrated Transport Master Plan will begin to shift planning to action, using corridor-based investment and stronger integration of rail, bus, taxi, and non-motorized transport in our province. We are now ready to unleash the new transport modes that will then accommodate the economy of our province. Madam Speaker, and I'm glad that the former Premier is here in the House. Those who came before us in 2012 saw the need to go to the private market to secure funding for 27 billion so that we can build the Gauteng. By the end of this March this year, this private sector investment will now become due, and all the trains, the stock, the station, the systems will now be formally handed over to the people of Gauteng. And this investment is 52 billion rands that will now be owned by the people of Gauteng as a new investment that has been secured out of this private-public partnership. We want to thank those that had foresight to have this investment. But to maximize this investment, from this year, we'll resume the process to expand Gauteng. The new Gauteng will go to Soweto, Mamelodi, Springs, Atteridgeville, Four Ways, and parts of West Rand, and later we'll then want to expand it to Sedibeng in the Vaal. We are finalizing the new concessionaire for the Gauteng expansion for the next 15 years. People of Gauteng, in particular people of Limpopo, the Gauteng-Limpopo speed train has taken an impressive turn for the goods. Over 30 investors have raised their hands and they are now willing to bankroll this project after the Minister of Transport have gone out to request those that are interested to invest in this project. With the undivided support that we've received from the President during his State of the Nation address, as well as the support that we've received from the Minister of Transport, Honorable Minister Dallas Creasy, this dream of having a speed train between Gauteng and Limpopo will indeed now be realized in our lifetime. This intervention will ensure that the backlog that we have between Gauteng and Limpopo during weekends and long weekends will start to be history, so that the people of Limpopo can come in the morning and go back to Limpopo in the evening, and people of Gauteng will do vice versa. But on a serious note, the number of accidents that are occurring on this line is not something that we should allow to continue. And this investment must also assist us to save lives on this road. Madam Speaker, we highlighted in our last SOPA that bulk infrastructure is a catalyst for development, and yet it remains uncoordinated in our province. Last week, we went into a serious sessions with all our executive mayors, national government, and those that are interested in investing in bulk infrastructure in our province. Ladies and gentlemen, if we can't make water, electricity, and sanitation available immediately to investors, investors will leave us and go to other areas that can provide these services. So to this end, Gauteng will be establishing a bulk infrastructure agency that will coordinate and manage the provision of bulk infrastructure in the province, together with the assistance of all our municipalities in our province. We'll put the necessary resources for the establishment of this agency. Madam Speaker, let's face it, local government is the backbone of service delivery. And yet, this is exactly where our most challenges are coming from. The developments in Ekurhuleni over the last few days has brought coalition governance into a sharp focus. In our discussions with the leadership of this municipality, we have now been assured that these governance challenges will be resolved without further delay. We want to take this opportunity to welcome the decision that has been taken by the executive mayor of Ekurhuleni to immediately bring to book all those that have been implicated in the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry. This is leadership. And those that are staying at home because they've been implicated, they must be attended as speedily as possible, so that you don't pay people to stay at home. Last week, this region of Ekurhuleni unleashed investment in new fleet that will strengthen service delivery, especially in the areas of refuse removal, road maintenance, and law enforcement. The municipality demonstrated its commitment to reclaimed hijacked buildings. Both the Farouk Park and Airport Park have been reclaimed from those that hijacked government buildings and thinking that they can have this permanent infrastructure forever. We want to thank Ekurhuleni for evicting those that have hijacked government buildings. These buildings are now firmly back in the hands of the municipality. We welcome the decision that has been taken by the Tshwane Mayoral Committee to to reimburse workers for their long outstanding benefits. This firm resolution demonstrates the willingness of this municipality to respect bargaining council resolutions and expose those who were running this municipality before for lacking empathy on matters related to workers. The over 1 billion in backdated salary increases will be returned to the workers of Tshwane. And we say to the workers, use this money very well. Despite expecting an unqualified audit, the qualified audit status that they attained is an indication that they are on the right course to clean their books that were left in a mess by the previous administration. To date, listen to this, Soli. To date, Honorable Soli, listen to this. Honorable Msimang, listen to this. We want to extend our appreciation to the leadership of Tshwane municipality. To date, they've removed all outstanding payments owed to Eskom and Rand Water. Something the previous administration in Tshwane failed hopelessly. We want to take this opportunity to congratulate the leadership of Tshwane, and this is the demonstration. A coalition government founded on respect, mutual relationship is a coalition government that works. Congratulations, Tshwane, and congratulations to the executive mayor. In 𝐬𝐶𝐫𝐵𝐻, it is now public knowledge that the governing party is proposing changes in some municipalities under its control in that municipality. Furthermore, a motion of no confidence was tabled by the Pan-Africanist Congress of Azania against the executive mayor of 𝐬𝐶𝐫𝐵𝐻. These developments create governance challenges in this region. But we're excited that discussions with the leadership of the affected municipalities are scheduled for later this week, in which all these matters may be resolved. Last week, Mfuleni municipality unveiled 145 new fleet vehicles to accelerate service delivery in that municipality. I want to take this opportunity to thank the executive mayor of Mfuleni for the decisiveness in ensuring that these vehicles are released and are available to our communities. These vehicles include those for traffic and bylaws, waste management, electrical, and road maintenance. But let me take this opportunity to congratulate Midvaal local municipality for continuing to be the shining municipality in our province. But most importantly, for their strong belief in integrated government relations and participation in provincial programs. This municipality, regardless that is led by opposition party in our province, they cooperate, attend, and contribute to the development of our province, and they work hard to ensure that there is one government in our province. And for that, we are grateful to the executive mayor of this municipality. We are also excited that Savannah City, a multi-billion rand development, is entering a new phase of development that will deliver over 18,000 homes and support the accommodation of more than 70,000 residents. It is estimated that this project will create jobs during construction and over 12,000 permanent jobs in this area. I want to thank the Executive Mayor of Lesedi local municipality for leading on the VAL SEZ and ensuring that bulk services are unlocked in this municipality. We must deal with the challenge of illicit trade that continues to cripple the economy of Lesedi. Sadly, recently, the British American Tobacco announced its intention to completely close its manufacturing plant in Heidelberg, placing livelihoods at risk. And the reason why this company is withdrawing, because our province has been invaded by illegal cigarettes that are being used in our province. The company attributes its decision largely to this persistent growth of illicit cigarette trade in the country, which has significantly eroded its market share and revenue. After this, we then established a unit to deal with this illegal trades in our province. Together with the police, we are intensifying the protection of our manufacturing and retail sectors. Already, we have confiscated counterfeit goods valued at 250 million last year and will strengthen this approach to ensure only proper and authorized goods are sold in our province. O ska di reka machaine, o di reke mo di rekisiwang teng. The Vereeniging main taxi rank was practically completed on the 29th of October 2025, promising to deliver a safer, more functional and commuter-friendly hub with upgraded waiting areas, paving circulation routes, lighting and sanitation, and restoring dignity and reinforcing taxi ranks as economic anchors in the township and urban areas. Like we said before, taxi ranks are new economic anchors, and therefore, people that use taxis must get proper shelter, proper sanitation, and must be treated with respect by marshals so that this sector can grow as well. We want to assure the residents of West Rand that we are working with the municipality to resolve the ongoing difficulties caused by sinkholes. Following the declaration by the national government, measures are underway to bring relief to this community. Furthermore, we are excited for the 5 billion Leratong mixed-use development, which will open in October 2026 and will be anchored by its own shopping center. We want to thank the Executive Mayor of Mohali for pushing and ensuring that this investment works. This is an indication if a municipality is led by young people, it delivers on its mandate. This development is currently employing 495 workers across 20 micro to small medium enterprises. Let's also congratulate the West Rand District Municipality for attaining its second consecutive clean audit in our province. We want to thank the Executive Mayor of this district. Actually, this municipality is not only performing well, but remains a candidate for the future development in local authority sector. This is a municipality on the rise, and we want to encourage them to remain on course and ensure that it's a municipality that delivers on its services. Thank you so much, Executive Mayor, for this support. The might of the law was demonstrated recently in West Rand, when all spheres of government came together to confront Zamazamas who thought they could victimize and intimidate the community of Sporong in West Rand. This was followed by a joint operation of the police, the army, and the strategic unit that has been identified by our provincial commissioner. In this raid, since the arrival of the army in our province, they have interacted with Zamazamas, who have left immediately when the army arrived, and we managed to retrieve 75 AK-47s and rounds of ammunition. And we are intensifying the presence of the army in this area. To our President, thank you, President, for listening to us. The time to take chances in our province will be over soon, and we hope and remain hopeful that the presence of the army will end gangsterism in some of our townships and finally chase out the Zamazamas once and for all in our province. To the people of West Rand, le rona re batho. Madam Speaker, we welcome the Presidential Johannesburg Working Group intervention, which seeks to address service delivery failures, infrastructure decay, and financial instability in Johannesburg. We have demonstrated during the preparation of the G20 that we can make Johannesburg clean and ensure that the infrastructure is protected. We want to thank the Executive Mayor of Johannesburg, and we are now making great strides. We look forward to the implementation of this important waste-to-energy project that was announced as part of the investment secured in the city of Johannesburg. People of Gauteng, in our last State of the Province address, we identified 13 challenges that we called G13 problems of Gauteng. We said it and we still maintain it. If we can't resolve these 13 challenges facing us, we don't deserve to be called government. We want to report to you of the work that we've done ever since we attended to these G13 challenges. The majority of these challenges fall within the purview of local government. In this regard, the provincial government and municipalities have been meeting regularly through our IGR processes to address these challenges, Madam Speaker. Let me start with cable theft and vandalism. In addressing the frustration of our citizens, I want to share with you the two text or WhatsApp messages that I received earlier this week. The first one says, "Good day, Premier Lesufi. We are a cable manufacturer based in Randfontein. We are located right beside the main road going to Carletonville. Across the road is an open field where Zamazamas are often seen mining on the surface in broad daylight. They obviously are mining underground as well. We had an armed robbery 2 days ago where the security guards were tied up and the Zamazamas broke the locks and gained access to the factory and stole copper wires on a large steel drum. Our night shift staff are now refusing to work because of safety concern. Please, Premier, intervene." The second message that I received reads thus: "Good morning, Premier. Kindly see the above request from our community patrollers in Olive and Bochwood regarding the issue of cable theft in this area. Cable theft has become a nightmare in Olive as the community is not enjoying stable electricity supply. Yours truly, Councillor." So just last week, the community of Olive caught 4 cable thieves and acted in a manner that we don't want to encourage. Even though all the cable thieves were Basotho nationals, the community has finally agreed to our plea to hand them over to the police. But honorable members, this is a lived experience of many communities that require our continued support in intervening to fight cable theft. In our last SOPA, as I indicated, we committed to unleash an integrated reaction unit comprising various law enforcement agencies and private sector to safeguard and protect cables and public infrastructure. To this end, we are proud to report back that we have now finally, on the 3rd of September, broke the backbone of the syndicate that had been stealing cable theft. A team comprising 𝐬𝐶𝐫𝐵𝑒ng Infrastructure Unit, Gauteng Traffic Wardens, and private security companies operationalized an intelligence information that led them to a scrapyard in Didier. During this operation, they've managed to recover copper cables worth about 3 million rands and arrested 5 suspects at the scene who have since been charged and sentenced in prison, to be sentenced in prison. We want to thank those that are assisting us with information to safeguard our infrastructure. The third area that we wanted to give feedback on is on traffic lights. Madam Speaker, as you may recall, we committed to immediately replace traffic signals across our province and resurface and upgrade our roads. To date, together with all municipalities, we are now standing at 4,786 functional traffic lights, while 699 traffic lights are non-functional across the province. This brings misery and this brings pain to our residents. Unfortunately, our traffic signals are being vandalized, and this has become a vicious cycle. We fix today, they are vandalized tomorrow. But together with the CSIR, we are now piloting a new alternative technology to assist us with the eradication of theft and vandalism of traffic lights. We therefore urge our communities to please report suspicious acts of vandalism immediately. The number 4 priority that was identified was potholes. I received an X message from a Gauteng resident who said, the Johannesburg Roads Agency has fixed every single pothole in Bryanston in less than, wait. This ex-user wrote to me and said, the Johannesburg Road Agency has fixed every single pothole in Bryanston in less than 2 days, many of which have existed for years. Oh, they are fixing them because there's by-election later this week. This affirms that we are indeed trying to fix majority of our potholes. We share the frustration of our citizens, but we can assure you, we have now developed a mechanism and processes that will allow us to fix this problem. I guess democratic culture demands skepticism if we continue to deal with this problem. But it does not stop us doing what needs to be done. So we can give you a feedback that out of 31,000 identified potholes to date, 26,000 have been repaired across the Gauteng City region, demonstrating our commitment to providing safer road infrastructure in the province. But let us be honest, the weather patterns and the amateurish filling of some of these potholes lead to reoccurrence of these potholes, and we feel they are now used by tenderers to get business. We have taken a decision, therefore, to work with the Tshwane municipality as well as the Johannesburg municipality and invest in their asphalt plant so that government on its own can fill potholes and not rely on tenderers who are doing a shady job on this matter. In addition to fixing potholes, we are also resurfacing provincial roads, including K101 linking Midrand to the N1, the rehabilitation of K175 from P61 to K201. This will lead to a smooth ride to Enkandastria and the upgrading of D1814 in Brongospate. As part of building capacity of the state, we are now indeed prioritizing the urgent need to fix streetlights, to fix potholes, and to ensure that our roads are as proper as possible. And for this, we want to thank all the metropolitans as well as local municipalities that are indeed trying their level best to fix our roads. But going forward, we have now appointed Tshwane, Johannesburg, and Ekurhuleni municipalities to be our agencies in fixing all our provincial roads within their jurisdiction. This, we believe, will also assist in accelerating the elimination of potholes in these areas. Madam Speaker, the next priority we identified was crime and lawlessness in our province. Madam Speaker, when we introduced 3 helicopters to assist the police to fight crime in our province, our interventions were labeled gimmicks. When we declared that we'll install about 20,000 CCTV cameras, we're told there's a pie in the sky. When we appointed young unemployed people to be traffic wardens, 10,000 of them to fight crime, we're told we're campaigning. When we said we have profiled 392 hard criminal kingpins in our province, and in return of the 392 hard criminals that were identified, to date we've arrested 101, and we're told this will never happen. Today, all municipalities in Gauteng have abandoned their boundaries and they've signed a memorandum of understanding that will ensure we combine all our resources as municipalities and provincial government and the SAPS, so that when a criminal runs away from Ekurhuleni, Ekurhuleni can't turn back and say it's another municipality. They can chase them until they are arrested. And this is the way of fighting crime in our province. So despite all the ridicule that we received, today we can report that as per the crime stats released by the Minister of Police on Friday, crime in Gauteng is going down. Murder decreased by 11% on a year-on-year. Sexual offenses decreased by 8%. Property-related crime recorded a 7.8% decrease. We are now pleased that crime stats in Gauteng are no longer going high, even though we still have the high level of crime in our province, but we have turned the corner. The needle is no longer moving high. The needle is moving downwards. And for that, we want to thank our Provincial Police Commissioner, Lieutenant General Mtombeni, and all his police force for marshalling us to protect the province against criminals. But this is interesting. We are also pleased to announce that our police have shown no mercy upon those who meant to harm them. During their work and during armed confrontation with the police, 26 alleged criminals in our province tried to tackle our policemen. In return, these 26 criminals were permanently removed from the face of the earth in the interaction with the police. And we are saying to the police, maintain that spirit. Anyone that points you with a firearm, we've given you firearm to defend yourselves. Anyone that brings a rifle to you, we've given you rifles to defend yourself. Show no mercy to criminals. It is also within this context that 11 cash-in-transit kingpins were arrested. But we are worried, people of Gauteng. In the crime statistics that were released by the Minister of Police, out of 30 police stations across the country, Gauteng accounts to 21 police stations with the highest number of car hijackings found in South Africa. This is not a nice record. 21 stations out of 30 stations in our country are found in Gauteng, and the greatest sin of car hijacking is happening here. This confirms why we need the new number plate that will assist us to prevent this. We also need technology that will also work with law enforcement agencies so that we can stop cars crossing the borders of our province. We want to thank the Minister of Justice and Constitutional Development, together with the current Minister of Police and the Public Protector, for paving the way for the gazetting of the traffic wardens and defending the creation of 10,000 jobs that were about to be lost if traffic wardens were not gazetted. People of Gauteng, we now have a multiplier force that will assist law enforcement agencies in sporting events and other events so that police can concentrate on the core mandate of fighting crime. 10,000 jobs have been saved, and we want to thank the ministers for the support. Madam Speaker, illegal mining in our province has reached intolerable levels. Over 600 families that have been targeted, but we see these targets taking place across the province. This is supported by people that are highly armed, that threaten our women and attack our children. In some instances, our people have fled from their homes due to the violent threats and attacks on the residents. The ongoing illegal mining affects the communities of Western, Ekurhuleni, Johannesburg, and Sedibeng district. Dangerous syndicates use high-caliber weapons, such as AK-47, to conduct hostile takeovers of illegal mining sites in our province. Government wants to put stop to this terror, and we welcome the decisions taken by the President. And I want to announce to you, we have been allocated over 450 soldiers to come and assist us to stamp out illegal mining and rising gang violence in our province. We urge our President to keep these soldiers for long so that we can be safe in our province. The next priority is G6, which is the mushrooming of informal settlements. Honorable members, we cannot allow our beautiful province to be reduced to shanty town. Of late, major parts of our province are witnessing an abnormal rise in a number of informal settlements. To stop this, we have resolved that all law enforcement agencies and municipalities will not allow a new informal settlement to be built in our province from the 1st of June this year. We have established a multidisciplinary team. We have established a multidisciplinary team of lawyers, law enforcement agencies to attend to the mushrooming of informal settlement. We are also using the latest technology that will identify areas in which informal settlement are established in our province. We are not against those that are staying in informal settlement. We are against mkuku syndicates that are using the plight of our people and establish new informal settlements so that they can house undocumented foreign citizens in this informal settlement. We can't allow this to continue to happen in our province. So we've taken this decision to dismantle informal settlements that are creating problems to us. The first informal settlement to be removed was the plastic city informal settlement in Ekurhuleni, where 2,500 people were relocated to proper places. We thank the 𝐾𝐿𝐴 municipality for leading from the front. As I said, this is not being against the poor and the homeless. We are against the 𝐾𝐿𝐴 mafias who are taking advantage of our people. The next informal settlement that we are targeting is Plastic View in Tshwane. We went there with the SAPS, Metro Police, and Home Affairs officials. However, we were not successful. We took a strategic retreat, but we have agreed we are going back later this year to ensure that only people that are authorized to stay there should stay there. Madam Speaker, from tomorrow we'll be handing new houses to people of Benoni, Chief Albert Lithuli. This is a major project that excites us. What we are intending to do here is to remove people from informal settlement and put them in proper housing to ensure that they wait for their turn and that the people that have waiting list letters can also be accommodated. So tomorrow we are handing over 188 walk-up units, which will benefit people who are staying in informal settlement in the following areas: Chris Hani, Gabon, Zenzel informal settlement, Davidton Old Section, Benoni, Actonville, Crystal Park, Mayfield Extension 167, Eto'o Barcelona, Emapupeni, and Wattville. Residents of this informal settlement, from tomorrow, ni abo mam stand, ulla kwa ya hao in your new house. Gone are the days where you have to pay rent, you have to pay for services now. We have reported before that the government has identified Makau's informal settlement in Ekurhuleni as a key focus area for development and relocation to improve the living condition of our people. I'm pleased to report back that we have since acquired 200 hectares of land to upgrade this informal settlement in the middle of Germiston. We can't allow this informal settlement to continue in this pattern. We have now acquired land. It will be developed and it will be a better place to live in this community. The process of land transfer and registration of City of Ekurhuleni is now underway. To Tshwane, we want to thank the municipality. They have identified 33 municipal-owned buildings that were hijacked. Using the integrated team, to date, they've reclaimed 7 of these buildings and put them for sale in the market. The remaining buildings will be put up into the market this year after they've also been claimed. People of Tshwane, Maraba Stad plays a crucial role in the history of our country and cannot be forfeited to illegal foreigners. It is within this context that 12 properties covering 2.7 hectares of land in Maraba Stad have now been demolished and will be put out to the market in the next year so that a proper Maraba Stad can rise, that can be better and that can function well in our province. As part of supporting those that are staying in informal settlements that are properly recognized, we are now successfully piloting an innovative alternative sanitation solution in informal settlement. This will ensure that residents have access to clean, safe, and dignified sanitation services. These systems are quick to install, and they use minimum water and do not require conventional sewer infrastructure to be installed. Thus far, we have connected 620 stands in 𝐬𝐻𝐫𝐿𝐴 informal settlement to a solar-powered site treatment system, and we have also commissioned more than 1,000 yard-based toilet units in Salt City. In Bophelong informal settlement, over 200 units are already in use of this facility. Building on this progress, we'll expand this intervention to other informal settlement across as part of our commitment in restoring dignity in informal settlement. To stay in informal settlement must not mean you must not have proper sanitation. The government that I have the honor to lead will unleash this form of sanitation so that we restore dignity to our people and they can be in a position to use proper sanitation. Madam Speaker, on the 27th of February, we'll also be handing over 1,000 title deeds to residents at 𝐬𝐮𝐬𝐽𝐻𝐿𝐵𝐻𝐾𝐭 mega project in Ratanda, Lesedi local municipality. At the Umpumelelo Extension 4 mega project in Davon, we are allocating 130 new units made up of 80 walk-up units and 52 stand-alone units. This is the form of housing that we are introducing in Gauteng. You will see these units, they are not only beautiful, they've gone beyond RDP and they've provided our people with an investment that they can cherish from their government. Honorable members, we also welcome the rapid land release investment. But key, we also want to thank those that are assisting us in this area of land. We welcome the private sector that have already planted almost 100 billion in the following areas: Mooikloof megacity, Lufureng, Green Creek, and waterfall expansion. This serves as a testament that we can work together with the private sector and that the private sector has confidence in our province. As the Gauteng government, last year alone, we've constructed almost 7,000 housing units in the current financial year. We continue to prioritize the elderly person, people with disabilities, and military veterans, as well as individuals who have been on the waiting list for 7 years. This year, we want to build 8,644 new houses, specifically for those that are staying in backyards, and they've been disciplined. Instead of invading land, they patiently waited for these new houses, and we want to thank them for their patience. To improve housing delivery, we are focusing on providing fully serviced sites to qualifying residents. We remain the only province that have identified land and we've put water, we've put electricity, we've put tie road and sanitation. We are saying to those that don't qualify for a bond house and those that don't qualify for an RDP house, this year we've released 13,000 service stands so that people can build their houses of their choice and they are not confined to get only RDP houses, and they can build a house that they want. This year, we are targeting to release 3,600 sites that are fully serviced so that those that want to build their own houses are free to do so in our province. Madam Speaker, we identified G7 to be electricity challenges. Our efforts to eradicate load shedding and stabilize energy provision have yielded positive results. We would like to thank the national government, as represented by Minister 𝐬𝐮𝐬𝐫𝐿 and the leadership of Eskom, for finally kicking out load shedding in our lifetime. We understand there are areas that still have load reduction, but truth be told, an ANC-led government have finally buried load shedding in our lifetime. Together with municipalities, we've played our part by undertaking initiatives related to transformers, smart meters, and renewable energy. We urge our communities, we must not sit on our laurels. we still need to spare and save electricity and not use it in a manner that will create load shedding again. We also are determined as a province to ensure that those that are connected illegally to the grid will be assisted to connect legally so that they can also start to pay for electricity. We are shifting from emergency expansion to long-term security in terms of electricity. Faced with the challenge of rapid landfill airspace depletion in our province, we've indicated that we are starting a waste-to-energy project in Gauteng. Besides the Johannesburg one, we are undertaking an integrated waste management facility to service the 3 metros, focusing on the areas of Midrand, Tembisa, and Centurion. This project will entail several waste diversion technologies, including clean material recovery facilities, composting, biogas, combustion of waste material, and green hydrogen. This project is estimated to cost us 10 billion rands. The next challenge is a painful one. It's gender-based violence and femicide. The declaration of gender-based violence and femicide as a national disaster demands agency and coordination. In response, we've rolled out 152 active green doors to provide victims with much-needed safe place, counseling, and also advice on opening cases against perpetrators. We've now reached out 270,000 households through our GBVF brigades. We have went to our townships, informal settlements, and hostels to identify and give support to those that are victims of gender-based violence. People of Gauteng, we should all raise our hands and declare that gender-based violence, especially against women and children, must come to an end. As part of ensuring faster response to GBF incidents in our province, we advise our residents to download the e-panic button, which is freely available on the App Store of many mobile phones. To date, over 170,000 residents have registered on the e-panic button application, and 60,000 people have been assisted after they've pressed the e-panic button. We are also grateful to the work of the GBV brigades, private security companies, and ambulances that continue to respond to people that are pressing the e-panic button for assistance. As Gauteng, we honestly have to defeat GBVF once and for all. Honorable members, the 9th challenge was drug abuse. In our fight against drugs, we have strengthened our strategies and our programs, and we have now established a solely dedicated team that has been assigned to remove drugs from our street. And I'm proud with the following numbers and the achievement that have been scored by this unit. As I'm speaking to you now, 7 million grams of dagga, 94,000 grams of cocaine, and 702 million Mandrex tablets were removed from the streets of Gauteng since the establishment of this unit. Our Tswada anti-substance abuse campaign was also successfully rolled out across the province on the 27th October 2025. People of Gauteng, on this day, we were planning to receive only 5,000 people that were going through difficulties of drugs. We publicly requested parents to bring their children. To our shock, instead of receiving 5,000 people, more than 28,000 drug service users were brought to our stadiums and public institutions, indicating that the problem of drugs in our province is not only affecting drug users, it's literally affecting all families. As we stand here, there is no single family, directly or indirectly, that does not have a child, a brother, and a friend that is going through drug abuse in our province. We have now agreed, as the only province that have the resources, the capability, and the resources to ensure that all those that are going through challenges of drug abuse must be assisted. To all the drug users, our message is very simple. It's 𝐬𝐻𝐶𝐴. But we also agree with our Honorable President that as a country, we have a serious alcohol abuse problem. We will consult with the sector to drastically reduce alcohol users on the other side. Cheers. We agree with our president that we've got an alcohol abuse problem, especially in our province. We will consult with the sector to drastically reduce the issuing of new liquor licenses and stamp out fraudulent liquor licenses without further delay. We have now assigned the police and other law enforcement agencies to have no mercy to those that are forging liquor licenses in our province. But since the establishment of this special unit, we have confiscated 540,000 liters of alcohol beverages from illegal taverns, nightclubs, and other businesses. We will continue to execute this mission. Madam Speaker, the 10th area that we identified is on health and our hospitals. It is generally known that public hospitals have the best talent in terms of doctors, specialists, and healthcare professionals. However, the main problem that our people have with our hospitals is not about professional people. It's the problem of long queues, manual paperwork, old infrastructure, and overcrowding. It is within this context that we have undertaken the following initiatives. We have already digitalized 10 hospitals so that we no longer fill forms. We can use digital systems to wait for the queue and to get to a file, that each and every file will be digitalized so that no file goes missing and all files can be available immediately to our doctors. The following hospitals are now fully digitalized through this process: Chris Hani Baragwanath, Tembisa Hospital, Sebokeng Hospital, Tellemogwerane Regional Hospital, Steve Biko Academic Hospital, Charlotte Maxeke, Johannesburg Academic Hospital, Leratong Hospital, Helen Joseph, Tambo Memorial, and Jubilee. This year, we will digitalize 5 new hospitals to ensure that our hospitals are now paperless. We want to eliminate queues. In doing so, we've introduced a new queue management process that will ensure that the sick are attended and those that are seriously sick are immediately attended, so that people don't die in our queues, but all medical facilities and resources can be immediately made available to those that are in our queues. We are piloting the implementation of this system in majority of our hospitals, and we look forward in rolling out this queue system in our province. We are also piloting the implementation of the forensic pathology management system in our facilities. Gone will be the days in our province when we don't have a relative and you have to go to a mortuary to look for a relative. You don't have to open all the fridges to look where is your family member. we have a system. Everybody that is not accounted for, we take their fingerprints, loaded in our system. When you come for a family member, we can easily introduce that person for you using this particular system. We have started with the Carltonville Forensic Pathology Services. Finally, MEC, the long-awaited Johannesburg Forensic Pathology Laboratory will be officially opened in the next few months. This will go a long way towards reducing backlogs in DNA tests and DNA tests that are desperately needed by the criminal justice system. We have completed 27 major health refurbishment projects in the last financial year, prioritizing emergency theaters, maternity wards, clinics, and mental facilities. Some of these projects include Jubilee Hospital and 𝐵𝐻𝐻𝐿𝐻 Hospital. We have one big challenge. Cancer patients in our province have been going through difficulties. By the end of December, we used to have 1,200 patients that were on the waiting list at 𝐬𝐻𝐫𝐞𝐿𝐻 Hospital. We have now reduced this number from 1,200 to 200 patients. We are not proud that we still have 200 patients on the waiting list. We want to finally knock off this waiting list so that every patient that needs medical assistance in terms of cancer can get that assistance instantly rather than be given a long date for them to come. We must make cancer treatment backlog history in our province. We have also installed the new MRI machines at Steve Biko Academic Hospital, George Mukhari Academic Hospital, 𝐬𝐻𝐫𝐞𝐿𝐻 Hospital, Johannesburg Academic Hospital, thus closing the diagnostic gaps that have existed for years. Lean accelerators for cancer treatment have now been fully installed at Chris Hani Baragwanath and George Mukhari hospitals. Maybe you don't know that Gauteng bears the brand of cancer scourge with over 41,000 new pathology confirmed cases nationally. Of the 41,000 confirmed cases nationally, 37% were diagnosed in our province. Despite this heavy burden, Gauteng remains the best positioned province to lead cancer system reform, research, and innovation nationally. Madam Speaker, this one excites me. Never did we think in our lifetime we will be in a position to kiss HIV/AIDS goodbye. We have now resolved to be the first province to stock and distribute the newfound HIV/AIDS defeating vaccine, lenacapavir, when it's made available by the minister. We want to be the province that can lead in the release of this vaccine. We can now declare that we can defeat HIV/AIDS in our lifetime. We are now calling on those that want to use this mechanism to stop HIV/AIDS. People of Gauteng, education is a great equalizer. It accounts for difference between poverty and social mobility. I wish to take this opportunity to recognize and celebrate two exceptional young students that come from our province. The first one is a grade 11 learner from Dalview Secondary School in Enade. She entered an international competition on STEM. His name is 𝐾𝐨𝐧'𝐭. 𝐾𝐨𝐧'𝐭 was awarded a gold medal at the 2026 International Initiative for Research and Innovation in STEM, and she became #1 in this symposium in India. Where's Mikateko? She's around. Yeah. This one excites me as well. We identified her during our Young Women Awards. During these awards, we got her nomination that she's the best debater. Even though we didn't see her, we felt that we should honor her. Last year, Tanya Jakeni went to compete in the international debate in Finland, and she was crowned the best top speaker and debater across the globe. Congratulations, Tanya. Ladies and gentlemen, also allow me to congratulate the matric class of 2025 on attaining 89%, which is the highest overall pass in our province. We are proud that the investment in township education is now yielding dividends. In the last matric exams, 20 schools from the townships gave us 100% matric pass, far ahead of former Model C schools in some of our suburbs. But it's these 4 schools that attained bachelor passes above 90% that excites me. This is a remarkable achievement that speaks to the resilience of our learners and the dedication of our educators. Honorable members, please join me in congratulating these 20 schools, but I want to single out these 2 schools. Lefureng Secondary School, listen to this. Lefureng Secondary School had 182 learners. Out of the 182 learners, all of them passed, but most importantly, of the 182, 179 achieved bachelor passes with only 3 learners not achieved. This confirms that township education has arrived. Another one is 𝐬𝐮𝐬𝐫𝐞 Secondary School. They registered 212 learners, and all 212 learners passed matric. But hear this, out of the 212 learners, 197 obtained bachelor passes. This is a confirmation that there is no longer separation on the basis of the areas in which our people stays. Time has arrived that we must have one examination for all our children in our country, so that the best examination can be determined on who is the best in our country. Those who thought by staying in a suburb area means full access to quality education, township education, are starting to prove this wrong. I want to thank Telkom for donating a full campus to teach our children artificial intelligence. The world is accelerating at a breakneck speed towards general artificial intelligence and artificial superintelligence. This evolution will remarkably change the world as we know it. Through artificial intelligence, the opportunities are boundless. Opportunities to monitor, design, and implement water and electricity infrastructure will be utilized. We'll also use AI to protect our systems from cyber attacks, corruption, fraud, and to increase our capabilities to fight lawlessness. As a result, Gauteng is considered in the establishment of an AI office to engage and coordinate with CSIR, which is a state entity, together with the private sector. in line with our mission and mission to realize artificial intelligence-infused future for our province. To the parents of learners in our province, our school admission online registration process was a painful exercise to majority of our province. We have now taken a decision to improve and strengthen so that we can ease the pain and frustration of our parents. Remember, the online registration is a very important transformation tool to ensure that our schools are accessible to all our children. To ease this pain, we are also constructing 18 new schools in our province. In January this year, we opened 2 new schools, and next month we'll open an abnormally beautiful school in Hammanskraal called Ratanang Primary School. This school, listen to this. This is a primary school that has a fully digitalized 28 classroom. It has a learner-friendly combi course. It has better school infrastructure. It is also having CCTV cameras to protect our children, and each and every classroom, it will be connected to the network so that we provide paperless classroom at an early age. I'm looking forward in opening this school early next week. And thank you so much, Executive Mayor of Tshwane, for finally giving us our temporary occupation certificate so that 1,100 students can be in a new school in the next few days. Residents of Gauteng, thank you for the support you have provided when we had the tragic scholar transport accident that took the lives of 14 of our learners. The support from communities, business, churches, and traditional leaders was indeed heartwarming. We remain hopeful that the support that we have provided to these families have strengthened them and that they are on their way to recovery. But we must do as much as possible to save the lives of our children on our streets. We are now focusing at ensuring that all scholar transport in our province is safe and compliant. This will be achieved by strengthening monitoring and the regulation. We are willing to engage with this sector, but we are not willing to be bullied by those that think they can continue to drive skorokoros and take our children to school. When we stop them, they threaten us with mass action. We want safer transport so that our children are safe. Let me also appeal to the scholar transport industry to comply with the regulation to ensure that our children are safe. Honorable members, as part of the revitalization of the Johannesburg CBD, we are escalating the refurbishment of 18 government-owned buildings. These 18 government-owned buildings, valued at 8 billion, will in the next 30 months go through a transformative agenda to create over 2,500 construction jobs. We have now assigned this task to the Department of Infrastructure Development so that our offices are fully utilized, but most importantly, we can be in a position to service our communities. We have now arrived at a decision that the core and the serious problem of corruption in our province comes from tenders and contracts that are awarded wrongly, and they are utilized to affect areas that related to service delivery. We are now proud that we are now going to use a new paperless system that can be influenced by any individual so that our tenders are free from influence and can be adjudicated transparently through this new system. We are also committed to reduce dependencies on tenders. We are building capacity of the state to resolve small problems that are happening in public institutions. We can't go on a tender to fix a fence or to repaint a community wall or to fix a toilet seat that is not working in public institution. Last year, we identified 2,500 unemployed people, and we trained them at all our technical schools, and we are proud to announce that the 2,500 young people who are now qualified plumbers, electricians, welders, will be unleashed to public schools, public clinics and facilities, so that our public facilities must look beautiful at all times. I want to congratulate the 500 of them that have graduated from this program. Honorable members, as part of our 𝐼𝐻𝐻𝐵𝐻 program, I joined the Minister of Employment and Labor, Honorable Minister 𝐼𝐻𝐻𝐵𝐻 Meth in 𝐼𝐻𝐻𝐵𝐻. Minister is giving us 1.5 billion rands so that we can train 30,000 unemployed young people and be absorbed in proper workplace opportunities in our province. We want to take this opportunity to thank the minister. 30,000 young people will be recruited later this year. Honorable members, please join me in acknowledging we are now at G13+1. Please join me in acknowledging the process started in 2023 by the former Minister of Home Affairs, Dr. 𝐼𝐻𝐻𝐵𝐻, which has now culminated in the publication of the white paper on citizenship, immigration, and refuge protection. We are now, as the Gauteng Provincial Government, at an advanced stage to ensure that we finally manage the people that have come to our province who remain undocumented citizens. We can't have this problem forever. We can't have people that we don't know where they come from, we don't know where they sleep, we don't know what they are doing in our country, and they continue to torment our citizens. Our approach is to use legislation to manage this problem. Hence, our call that this white paper, the way it structures, it will finally allow us to finish off this problem of undocumented foreign citizens in our province. As a province, we have already made submissions that influence the content of the final outlook of this bill. Residents of West Rand, sinkholes continue to be a major safety and an infrastructure issue. Murafon local municipality successfully backfilled the open sinkholes on Sompani and Pabang Road. Resettlement efforts are also underway, with a total of 39 out of 47 households successfully relocated from the red zone to 𝐬𝐻𝐻𝐿. Last year, we announced the development of an indigent register as a mechanism to ensure that subsidies are directed to the poorest and most vulnerable residents, while those that have financial means must continue to pay for services. The indigent register has now been piloted in Mogale City, Rand West, and in Murafo. We are working towards ensuring that the full rollout of a fully fledged and functional indigent system can be made available in foreseeable future. With this system coming live later this year, the current challenges faced by the residents of Tembisa this morning will be permanently reviewed, because the indigent register will be connected to various databases, so that when you are unemployed, it will automatically identify you. And when you get employed, it will automatically offload you, so that you don't have to waste time in queues to register as an indigent. Those that cannot afford to pay for municipal services will benefit, and those that can afford will be encouraged to pay. People of Gauteng, we've been hit hard by foot and mouth disease. Gauteng is facing the severest prolonged foot and mouth disease outbreak in recent history, which began in April 2025, following the illegal movement of infected cattle into our province. By January 2026, 195 confirmed cases affecting 261,000 cattle have been recorded, with the likelihood of underreporting. In response, the Gauteng Provincial Government has implemented a coordinated intergovernmental strategy, including strict livestock movement controls, quarantine, and vaccination measures. And we have intensified roadblocks to curb illegal transport and a unified communication campaign. To date, 286 cattle have been vaccinated, with additional doses secured, while farmers are urged to strengthen biosecurity and cooperate fully with veterinary authorities to contain the end of the outbreak. It is compulsory for us as Gauteng government to protect the weak, the poor and vulnerable members of our society, especially children in our province. Through our Banapele program, we have now distributed pro-poor bucket system to ensure our children in our province don't go to bed with an empty stomach. To date, we've distributed school nutrition to 1.7 million children. We've distributed dignity packs, 1.3 million dignity packs to young girls that need this assistance. We've also distributed 203,000 food parcels, as well as 127,000 school uniforms, together with 238 learner access scholar transport. We have now positioned bidding and hosting major events as one of the Gauteng most effective tools to drive the economic growth, tourism, and social transformation. Over the past year, we have successfully hosted a diverse portfolio of high-impact sporting events that delivered tangible socio-economic benefits to our communities. We are proud to announce that for the very, very first time, not only in our country, but in the continent, 54 top golfers in the world will land in our province as part of what is acclaimed as the World Cup of Golf. Our province have been asked to host the inaugural Live Golf South Africa tournament from the 19th to the 22nd of March 2026 at Steyn City, Johannesburg. This multi-year partnership is expected to generate significant tourism revenue, create thousands of jobs, and position Gauteng as Africa's premier sporting event. In March, we'll also see Gauteng hosting the Basketball Africa League at the Sunbet Arena in Pretoria from the 27th of March to the 5th of April. This is an NBA-supported continental tournament, and it brings Africa's top club teams to our province, boosting tourism, supporting our economy, and reinforcing our position as a global sporting destination and the home of champions. I know this one is very important. 𝐬𝐮𝐬𝐝𝐫𝐞𝐭, 𝐬𝐮𝐻𝐫𝐾, and amakhosi amahle, 𝐬𝐮𝐻𝐽𝐻𝐿𝐵𝐻𝐾𝐭. Will this week lock horns in our province? This event will benefit our communities. To many people, this is a soccer derby. To us, this is an economic opportunity. While others see this just as a sensational soccer derby, we in Gauteng, we see it as an economic activity. In a single weekend this week, This event will generate millions of rands through ticket sales, hospitality, and merchandise. It attracts over 80,000 fans, boosting tourism and hospitality sectors, while significantly benefiting informal traders and township-based entrepreneurs. Honorable members, I'm pleased to announce that finally, we've received the report of the Commission on Traditional Leaders in Gauteng. We have been requested by traditional leaders to ensure that we finalize this report. We are going to meet individually to all traditional leaders that have been identified in this report, and immediately after meeting with them, we'll make this report public. During the 2025 financial year, we expanded connectivity across the province by linking schools, clinics, and hostels and libraries through the Gauteng Provincial Network. This included new internet and public Wi-Fi, hotspots, and these facilities offer residents daily access to online learning platforms, job portals, and government services and entrepreneurial opportunities. We will continue with the full rollout until the entire whole of Gauteng has free, functional Wi-Fi. As I've indicated, the majority of reported corruption cases relate to human interference in tender processes. We are proud that we are going to utilize Tender Swift procurement system to modernize this manual tender process, to modernize the manual tender processes and ensure that we finally let go of corruption in this sector. In conclusion, honorable members, in conclusion, honorable members, this year marks the 140th anniversary of the celebrated city of Johannesburg and the 50 years of the iconic Market Theatre, an artistic and cultural institution on whose stage some of the most creative minds in the history of our country demonstrated the evils of the racist politics of the apartheid state. Market Theatre remains the theatre of our struggle. Our province is proud to be the home to this world historical city and its incomparable cultural center. Gauteng will also host the historic commemorations such as the 30th anniversary of our adoption of our Constitution, the 50th June 16 anniversary, and the 70th anniversary of the Women's March. We will deliver a unified program that celebrates our heritage, honors our struggles, and showcases the great sacrifices of our stalwarts, such as Mama Sophie de Bruyn, who's our guest of honor tonight. Our commitment is to ensure no one in our province does not know who Mama Sophie de Bruyn is. Madam Speaker, let me take this opportunity to once again thank the political parties that I have the honor to lead and to represent in this government. The African National Congress have entrusted us with this responsibility, and we want to thank them. We also want to thank all the political parties that are part of the Gauteng Provincial Unity. We remain a stable, viable coalition government in our province. I'm also thankful to the parties that are represented in the legislature. Their role enhances democratic ethos in our province. But I want to thank all the MECs, all executive mayors, our DG, HODs, staff in my office, and the people of our province for working together to ensure that we have a better province. Residents of Gauteng, our country is the economic center of our country. This puts huge responsibilities on the shoulders of those of us charged with the responsibility to make a meaningful change in the lives of the residents of Gauteng. This is never easy and will never be easy. The journey is never plain sailing. However, we remain committed to overcoming these challenges. We'll continue to do everything humanly possible to realize Gauteng of our dreams. I want to conclude by quoting our hero and the first president of our country, Nelson Mandela, when he advised us and said, "Do not judge me by my successes. Judge me by how many times I fell down, but I've managed to get up again and continue with the journey." I thank you for your attention and for your support.